Yeah, my name is Jed Mahrle. I did the program in 2019, I think March of 2019. I was very driven and all of that drive was going towards basketball. So pretty much I was homeschooled. I spent the mornings doing schoolwork and then the rest of the day pretty much just focusing on basketball for the most part. That was my main priority, pretty much all high school is the main thing I could say. I did the program when I was 17 years old. I think I was 14 or 15 when my dad mentioned it to me. I think like a lot of people, my dad saw it on Fox News when Isaac Morehouse was on there. Brought the idea up, I kind of made a mental note of it, and then later on, towards the end of high school, when I realized I wasn't gonna go to college, I kind of re-looked into it, and that's, where I began to start, applying and getting into the program. My only goal was to play college basketball. I realized I wasn't, quite good enough around my junior year, and so that's when I started to pivot. I saw Praxis as a really compelling opportunity because I just saw how many people got out of the program and started making, pretty decent money. And so I said to myself, I'm gonna do this. It's a 6-month boot camp. If I can't land a job, so what? I'll move on to something else. But I really didn't have another option. I was like, this looks like a good option. I'm just gonna go all in, give it all I got. And that was really it. Once I realized college wasn't for me because I wasn't gonna play basketball, I pretty much just pivoted to Praxis and put all my energy into that. I was already used to the idea of alternative education, and so throughout high school I was teaching myself, doing online classes, that sort of thing. So Praxis was a very natural transition. Of course, it was a little bit more intense than what I was doing in high school, but I felt it, just a very, like I said, natural transition, something I was pretty used to, just, with the homeschool background. Honestly, not a huge difference, just having more interaction with other people, I would say. Of course, Praxis does a really good job of teaching you all the professional skills you need to have and how to brand yourself and how to interview well and all that sort of stuff. They teach you all those things that are extremely valuable, of course, and they accelerate how quickly you can learn those things. But the reason why I got my job was because of another Praxis alumni who referred me, and that's how I started my career. And so without that, it would have been tough. And then beyond that, I've had so many other opportunities now with my business, just through the Praxis community. So definitely number one has been the community and the connections and that leading to job opportunities. And then number two, obviously being the curriculum and just putting me in the right mindset to start my career, kind of knowing what I was getting into and already kind of giving me an edge from day one once I got on the job. Yeah, so my job was at PandaDoc. I started as, PandaDoc is a e-signature proposal SaaS platform. I started as basically a contract sales development rep, so I was making cold calls. It was a 6-month contract, $15 an hour at the time, but the opportunity was to get promoted into a full-time salary SDR role. I did that for about 3 months and got promoted early, which was awesome. It was a good time to be at the company. And then from there, moved on to SDR and continued to move up at the company there. Throughout that whole process, one of the things that Praxis taught me was, the idea of learning out loud. And so what that meant was posting every day on LinkedIn about the things I was learning, writing a weekly newsletter where I would just share the things I learned in my sales job. And throughout that process, the newsletter started to gain traction after about 2 to 3 years, same thing with LinkedIn. And that led to people reaching out to me asking if I would consult with them. And so I started to kind of take these side hustle gigs, consulting, and once I started to see a real impact in the companies I was working with, I saw it as an opportunity to build a business around it. So kind of built like a 6-month plan where I was taking on more and more clients in my off hours from my 9 to 5. And once that got to a point where I was fully maxed out on time, I was working 9 to 5 and then the rest of my time was servicing these clients, I decided to go full time and start that business. It's been about 2 years now, and I have a team of 4 people, including me, and we are an outbound sales agency, so we work with other B2B tech companies, acting as an extension of their sales team to book qualified meetings with their target market. I mean, within year one, we did over $500,000 in sales. It was that was a really massive achievement that I was super proud of. We've worked with over 50 clients, seeing a really big impact in terms of just meetings booked and sales won for those clients. And then beyond that, building my newsletter to about 30,000 subscribers now has been awesome. It's created tons of opportunities and sponsorship income from the tech companies who want to get their platform in front of my audience. So I'd say those are some of the notable achievements. And then also, being in leadership through that career progression at PandaDoc and the next company I went to, Mailshake, I was able to hire quite a few people that I still have close relationships with, give them opportunities just like I was in 6 years ago, and see their career progress. So that's been really fulfilling as well, and probably one of my achievements that I'm proud of. You can overanalyze everything, but you really don't know what you're gonna like and what you're good at until you get started. And so I heard really good advice where it was like, pick something that you don't you don't fully hate, you know what I mean? But you think you could be good enough at it. You don't have to be the best at it. You don't have to absolutely love it when you're early on in your career. You're really just looking for experience. And so that's why I picked Praxis, because it wasn't like they were trying to pigeonhole me into going into sales. Part of the program is figuring out, if you want to work for a business or a startup or a tech company, do you want to do marketing? Do you want to do operations? Do you want to do customer success? Do you want to do sales? And so they helped me figure that out. And I tried multiple things throughout the program, and I ultimately landed on sales. But even if that wasn't it, Praxis was a great way for me to accelerate the understanding of if that was for me or not. And so I think, don't overanalyze things. Praxis is a great way to help you determine the best career path for you. But the great thing about Praxis is you don't have to go through a 4-year degree and spending all this money to figure out if that's the thing for you. Absolute worst case scenario is you go through the program and you realize none of that's for you, and you didn't waste 4 years and hundreds of thousands of dollars, you know what I mean? You gained experience along the way and connection. So I think a lot of early career people just overanalyze and try to pick the perfect career path from day one. And admittedly, I got lucky. Sales turned out to be the thing for me, but it very well couldn't have been, and I would have pivoted maybe 2, 3, 4 more times until I found the thing. But you don't know until you try, so just try new things. And again, Praxis is a great way to accelerate that. I didn't even know about the tech world in general. I didn't know any of this stuff. So I think I would have found my way regardless, but it's more so how quickly Praxis made that available to me is the big thing. Because all this information is online, right? You can learn all these sort of things, but Praxis just simplifies it a ton. Where when I was coming out of high school, I knew I wanted to get into a career where I could make good money. I just didn't know how to start. And without Praxis, it probably would have taken me many, many more years to get to that point. And I certainly don't think I'd be at the income level, without it. So again, I can't emphasize it enough. It just makes it very clear. You follow the steps that are within the program, and if you give your all to each one of those steps, it is very hard to fail. You will find your way if you just commit to the process. There's new people in the program that I can provide advice to and hopefully inspire them in some capacity. Because I remember being early in the program, going to the events, and there was plenty of people that inspired me and gave me good advice that got me to where I'm at now. So I enjoy giving back, and then also making connections with the people who are ahead of me, who are, in the same on the same path as me, and then the people who are a few steps behind me. So and it's just good people. Everybody thinks alike, or we all share commonalities in that sense. So it's very easy to connect with people at Praxis. You know what I mean? So hard to find that in other places.